Hello, folks, and welcome back to twitch.tv/gameswithnick. Bit of an unusual setup right now. Twitch is having some login issues, so I actually can't access the chat today. So let's just go right in. So, last time, yesterday, we did a 5-hour stream, and we still did not manage to finish the game, which was 2 hours more than I thought it would take. So, there's that. We learned that Akane, June, seems to have died 9 years ago, and yet somehow she's here. Also, Santa is her brother, and he tried to kidnap her? What's going on? Let's try to figure it out by finally actually wrapping up the story. The door opened, and they stumbled into the library.
Huh. I think the shaking stopped.
It would seem so, but we are yet to be out of danger. You're right. Let's hurry.
You're right across the hallway.
This exit needs the Uranus card, too.
Straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was the Uranus card reader.
Hey,
Uranus card reader.
Yeah, I know.
They slid the keycard through and the door rumbled open.
All right, it's open. Let's go.
Out of the library and into the hallway they ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran toward it.
Okay, Neptune key. Let's see if you work.
He turned it.
Yes! I think it unlocked.
The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. In front of them was another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque.
It says incinerator. So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door. Yeah, right here.
Junpei ran up to it.
Pull that and the door should open. Got it.
As he spoke, he pulled the lever. The motor in the door groaned as it slowly ground open. There was no time to waste.
Let's go.
As soon as the door had opened far enough to admit them, all four dashed through. Then suddenly, there before them were the four who they parted from earlier. Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. Santa was curled into a ball against the wall of the incinerator, holding his stomach. And then there was June. He sat slumped against the wall, exhausted.
What the hell is going on?
Junpei ran toward June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt down.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Her face was pale and her lips dry. When she spoke, he could barely hear her.
Jumpy, you came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
She mumbled the same words over and over weakly. Junpei could feel his heart breaking.
Hey, what happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me.
She was looking towards Santa. Junpei turned to look as well.
Santa.
Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Seven grabbed him by the collar and roared at him.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips as Seven shook it.
I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun.
What? Who took it?
What? Isn't that obvious?
Fucking
I took
Ace.
the gun.
Yeah, of course. Well, hello, this is familiar.
Yes.
He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Ace had her pinned down to him with the other arm, and she was shaking visibly. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead, and when her eyes were flicking up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace sneered.
You have me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
Junpei's voice was casual. Or at least it was trying to be.
Another irritating insect. And how do you know that?
Good question.
Junpei couldn't say, he just knew. Another unexplainable mystery.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Beyond Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in the small indentation on the wall. Quickly, Ace placed his hand on the scanner.
First is 1. Give me your hand.
He beeped, and he forced Lotus's hand on top of it as well.
8. And with this...
Then at last, he reached into the pocket of his jacket. He pulled something out and pressed it against the panel. The third asterisk appeared on the red.
9.
The thing he had used for the final verification was a bracelet with the number 9.
The ninth man. Kubota's bracelet.
I believe I've won this game.
His smirk made Junpei's blood boil.
I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is.
Junpei's eyes flicked towards Santa. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in immense pain. Junpei wasn't sure it was real pain, but he wasn't sure it wasn't either.
What the hell are you planning, Santa?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye. Wait!
Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request, and laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it.
What? Why isn't it opening? One more time.
Rose tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion and managed to twist herself out of his grasp, but... At the last second, he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red.
Now open!
He whipped the number 9 bracelet over the red and then his own bracelet as well. He pulled the lever.
No! What is this? That digital root should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Ace's fear and confusion had overridden all of their thoughts. He had set down the revolver. It was just below the red.
Now!
Seven chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than a man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. It was over before they knew it.
No!
In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain.
Ugh.
Lotus ran straight for Junpei. She darted around behind him and stuck her head out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Don't mention it.
Seven stood over Ace, his breathing slow and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped and looked down at Ace with pity on his face.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Wait, Nijisaki?
He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused.
Oh, right. You don't know yet. Alright, we'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. 1. In the nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous. Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted. Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital root.
Examples,
Which
etc.
means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself, so that you could make use of its power. In fact, you did use it in the murder of Niji Saki. 3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before. You needed to silence him before he told anyone. 4. But last, and perhaps the most, you used Kubota as a test. You wanted to know how serious this nonary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank?
See, it's funny, he's literally re-saying everything that Ace told him back in the day.
You convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota. But he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki. Chiefly because, when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then, when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
D-E-A-D. Dead.
And you mean to say... Snake is still alive?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Ace's self-deprecation was frustrating, but Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musa Shido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the Nonary project. Of course you would have known the solution to every puzzle, which would mean that you also knew how to get out of the wheelhouse.
Oh, that's smart.
Place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musa Shido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him with it. You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took, and then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote. But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into my pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. Had way too many holes, and someone saying the wrong thing could have brought it all down around you. You must have been desperate. But what made you willing to risk it all to do it? Ace.
That was the only thing Jump hadn't been able to figure out.
Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it. But why?
Because of this.
Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled something out of his pocket. It was a folded piece of paper.
What's with the paper?
Just read it.
Junpei took it and opened it.
Let's see.
This was what it said.
Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please. 0.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then? Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace had confessed everything. What energy he had left, he had left him with the truth, and he sagged on his knees. Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt revulsion for the pathetic man on the floor near his feet. But among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those 3 men. Junpei spoke quietly.
Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet, in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. Am I right, Santa?
Junpei looked over at Santa. As Junpei spoke, he stood up, his legs still shaking.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know any...
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, I guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh?
Devin's face was sad as he spoke.
My memory came back to me, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the nonary game this time around was Zero, and Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh?
Santa's smile was sarcastic and something else.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurishiki. I was one of the kids in the nonary game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing... No, I guess there's two things you got wrong. Number one, I ain't Zero.
What?
Wait, what?
Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant, like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders.
Then, if you're not Zero, who is?
Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say two things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said, all of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the nonary game. To save someone.
Save someone?
Right. You were brought here to help my sister, to save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurishiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there. I saw...
Suddenly, Seven froze. His eyes went as wide as dinner plates, and he spun around toward June. Junpei followed his gaze.
What?
She was gone. Where June had been, there was nothing.
What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurishiki?
Seven began to mumble to himself a strange series of words strung together, as if his mind wasn't functioning properly. His face twisted into an effort, as though he were struggling with something they couldn't see. He gritted his teeth and pressed his hands against the sides of his head.
Oh, my head! My head...
Seven! What the hell is going on?
I don't know, I just... Oh! I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode!
From somewhere far away, they all heard a deep, heavy noise. It sounded like a tremendous wheel slowly beginning to turn. Santa seemed to have entered an almost trance-like state. His words were calm and measured.
What was the Nonary Project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomenon? For two organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were two separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called... The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles, copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up, but there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers, like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei.
Where what is going?
Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it?
Well, that's...
The answer to that is easy. He knew because I knew. Junpei was receiving information that I sent to him through the morphic field set. Simple, really. I would know the alternate futures then. Imagine a river that splits in two like an upside-down Y. The river flows from the top to the bottom, from a single stream into two branches. It only flows in one direction. It can never flow backward. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backward. That's why people at the river's source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river. But I am different. I can manipulate the morphic field set to pluck knowledge from the future. I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now, who am I? I am I, the ninth letter of the alphabet. But I am also zero. No, that's not true. I'm not really zero. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than zero. Zero is my future. In 9 years, I will be zero. Where did she go? June. Noah, Kanye. Where did you go?
Santa!
What's Clover? Oh shit.
Freeze.
Santa's got the gun. Guess he picked it up when you weren't watching. Looks like he's stirring the table on us, though. Wonder how he likes having a gun to his head.
Get up.
Sure isn't about to take that gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either, but he just looks drained. I guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through the door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
He can't get through any number doors with just two people. What the hell is he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? What the hell does that even mean? Shit, they're out. And now the gate's shut. Looks like the rest of us are stuck in here. They're all looking at me. At least Seven's headache is gone. Seems to be alright. Well, I guess there's no harm in trying. Let me see if this door still opens.
Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening anytime soon.
Oh, you mean we're trapped?
So it would seem.
What the hell is Santa trying to do?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do now.
No. No, you can't be serious.
Oh, but he is. Shit, we gotta do something. Maybe we can still get out through door 9. There's the red. Yeah, alright, we can do this. I've just gotta... No, it's not gonna work. There's no way. 5 of us can't open this door. Or it could be 8. Is there any combination that will work?
Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook?
Math whiz! Sure, why not? I don't think I'm going to need them. Well, she certainly looks purposeful. Looks like she's writing equations, a lot of them. Huh? Oh man, she doesn't look very happy. What? Hey, no need to be ripping pages out like that. Jeez.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that!
Alright, at least I haven't got it away from her. Maybe now I can get a look at what she was writing. Let's see.
What? And there's no other way?
Lotus. Looks like she'd figure it out, though. Man, this is just too cruel.
It's okay. Go.
Lotus.
Come on, you know we can't do that.
Oh, don't give me that. I'm sure you'd love to get rid of me.
God damn it, you idiot!
Whoa, where the hell did that come from? Looks like she expected that about as much as I did.
Without... if you're not... Look, it'd be bad, alright?
For a cop, he sure doesn't have much confidence.
Bad?
Yeah. If there weren't assholes like you around, I'd be out of a job.
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm just not leaving you behind, alright? End of story.
7.
He's right. I'm not leaving you either.
Me too.
You didn't honestly think I'd abandon you, did you?
You're all idiots.
Act as tough as you want, Lotus. We can all see you're about to cry.
That being said, however,
However,
I doubt we would be able to open the door anyway, even if we were to leave Lotus behind.
Huh? Why?
I trust you remember what happened to Ace? I couldn't, see exactly what happened, but I was able to guess what he was attempting to do earlier at the Red.
Oh, yeah.
No! What is this? Why? The digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Just to see, why don't we give it a shot?
Give it a shot.
Yes, that is what I said.
$18. Want to say 9. Not opening.
You were right.
It ain't opening.
But it did open 9 years ago.
You think maybe they changed the settings?
Perhaps.
Shit. If we can get through the door, we can get out. The walls are way too high. There's no way in hell we could get to that pole 7 popped out of 9 years ago. All we can do is stand here and stare at this door with a 9 on it. I guess this is it. This is the end. I was watching. I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. Notice that it's called now a Akanin vision. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums I heard. Smell, taste, touch. I felt everything he felt. I knew. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All of his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness was inside of him. Through the morphic field said we were resonant and we were as one. I was him, and at the same time I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. That was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off on the ship we were on. That was when my resonance with him began. My resonance event melded into him and we became one. Instead of Junpei, somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind, 9 years into the future. But I didn't lose myself. I was living in 2 realities at once. One was the present and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as 2 movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. That was why I was able to grasp what was happening in front of me.
Come on, over here!
That was my brother Aoi, who was yelling. I followed him. Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age.
Come on, hurry up!
We ran down the long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. The girl with the blue hair, that's gotta be Lotus's kid. Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got into a fist fight. The girl watching them began to cry. I wanna go home, she cried. I wanna go home. Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It has been 2 hours since the normal game began. We were starting to fall apart. But just when all hope seemed lost, the light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later, we would call him Snake.
Hello? Everyone? Could you come over here for a moment?
He was older than most of us, and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down, and we gathered around him.
I have a little sister. She is very important to me. Right now, she is over in Building Q, and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover, and today is her 9th birthday.
As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. In his hand were 9 4-leaf clovers.
I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is, well, it is difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me. And I hope that these would show her how much I cared for her. Since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 4-leaf clovers would be appropriate. Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off this ship. Do you understand? If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They're a promise between friends.
Man, Snake is being a boss even as a kid. He gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually, it was left only a single 4-leaf clover. He had one last thing to say.
Now, don't ever forget, so long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand?
When he finished, the tension of only a few minutes before he was gone, we were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found a door with the number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in the chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Before long, we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside-down funnel. For some reason, this room had another number 9, but this time it was only 1. But if there was only 1 door, it meant only 5 people could escape.
What are we gonna do? There aren't any other doors.
We began to panic. Yeah, this thing's not going to bed enough already.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound good.
My brother always found it hard to answer.
I think it means this room is gonna burn.
Burn!
The plaque on the door says incinerator, and that voice said that the incineration is about to start. And incinerate means to burn.
No! Help me!
Abject terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. Then, high up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. He was a huge threatening mountain of a man as large as a bear. 9 years later, we would call him 7.
Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The rest happened just like 7 had said it did. The 4 of us who had stayed behind were saved by 7. We crawled through the vent away from the incinerator and slid down the hall. We came out on the other side of the door 9. On the wall opposite the door was a set of double doors. We went through those and began to run up the spiral stairs. As we ran, I led the way. Behind me were Nona, my brother Aoi, Snake, and 7. The other children, the ones who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could and kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually, I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they'd caught up. That was when I realized.
Oh no, where is it? Did I drop Jumpy's present?
I knew I'd had it with me when we passed through a vent. Then, had I dropped it when we slid out? I had to go back, I had to. But I knew I couldn't tell the others. They would stop me, I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I ran to the central hall, the room that connected to all the other areas of the ship. I hid in the shadows, and moments later I felt a rush of wind as they ran past me up the staircase. I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. I moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally, I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically.
There it is!
It was just where I thought it would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back toward the stairs and freedom, the door to the incinerator opened and a man stepped out. It was Hongo. The entire Hongo. 9 years later, we call him Ace.
Ah, how wonderful to see you decided to come back.
His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled the corners of his mouth.
Come with me. We must continue the experiment.
I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly, I began to walk backwards. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Then I spun around and broke into a run. I felt Hongo's hand close over my left wrist.
I said, come with me.
There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could.
No! Stop! Let go of me! Let go!
I shook my body and flailed my arms, trying desperately to get Hongo to let go of me. But it was still only a child. It was no match for a man like Hongo.
Stop struggling, goddammit! Do as I...
He heaved onto my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Then suddenly,
Akane!
the door to the stairs flew open, and my brother Aoi burst out of it. Behind him came Seven and Snake.
Akane!
He cried my name again as he leapt toward Hongo.
You came back!
I cried out. But then,
Ha! You're too late, idiot!
Hongo threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator. The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open number 9 door. Hongo stood between it and me, but behind him I could see my brother, his fists clenched. But those fists never reached Hongo. With the cold, hurtless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hongo glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the red and sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared on the red. He checked the screen, then tossed the bracelets carelessly onto the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself, of course. He said nothing at all and walked past me as though I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later, the 2 outer doors slid shut as well. Faintly, I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran towards the door with the 9.
Akane! Akane! Are you okay?
I could hear a voice from the other side of the door. A worried, frightened voice.
Help me!
My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here!
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door!
What?
Then it started again.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Incineration will begin in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Holy shit! Man, I knew what it was gonna say, but this is one hell of a creepy voice.
I knew it!
It's starting.
Santa started the incinerator.
Fuck! Man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after 9 years.
What the hell? What the hell? What in God's name are you talking about? It's 9 years this and 9 years that, and when it's not 9 years something, then you're talking about some sort of fucking experiments. You aren't making any sense.
Sorry, Lotus, we're kind of out of the loop at this point.
I'm sorry, Lotus, but we really don't have time to explain it right now. I promise. I'll tell you everything once we get out of here.
But...
Incineration will begin in 17 minutes.
You know what that means, right? Incinerate means burn. What kind of idiot do you think I am? I know what incinerate means. Well, god damn it. Okay, fine. I won't ask anything else. Talk about whatever you want. But you have to do something for me. 7, figure this out.
What? Why me?
Just shut up and stop this thing.
How the hell?
There has to be some sort of emergency shut-off button.
There isn't anything like that.
How the hell do you know?
Because I looked for it 9 years ago.
Yeah, Liz isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait. The floor, it's moving. What else can I say about it, bud?
What the hell is that?
What is that?
What else can I say? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer. At least it kind of did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. I wiped them off even as more took their place, and I forced myself forward. Finally, I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. All I saw was my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass, drenched in tears. All I can see on the screen is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kind of freaked out. I know I'm sweating like crazy, but seeing it kind of drives it home. Okay, Junpei, just calm down, alright? Everything's gonna be okay. Gah! Man, I wish the thing would just shut up.
Incineration will begin in 15 minutes.
Alright, back to this thing. If it's only showing up now, then it's gonna be important. But what the hell am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, move!
Gah! Hey, we're all tense, lady. That doesn't mean you get to shove people around.
Okay, it's turned on. There's nothing on the screen, though. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. If there's nothing on here, how are we supposed to do anything with it?
Sure, I'll just push button. I'm sure they'll... Oh. Well, at least it's on now. What's on the screen, though?
What is this?
What's up?
It looks like some sort of puzzle.
I got a bunch of numbers and letters scattered across a 5x5 grid. Numbers range from 1 to 8.
Do you think that if we solve this puzzle, the incinerator will stop? Yeah. Well, we can hope, right?
Alright, puzzle, how do you work? Ah, man, the goddamn voice again.
Incineration will begin in 13 minutes.
Shit, 13 minutes. Can we really do this? My heart feels like it's gonna pop. My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I was sure I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. My connection to Jumpy had been gone for a while. His mind was gone. I couldn't get any more information from him. I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen, completely lost. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured all over them. Then I heard a voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entry door was a face, a frightening evil face. It was Hongo. How long had he been watching me?
Don't know what to do.
He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled.
It's simple, really. But I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine.
His laughter was muffled by the door, but it still tore at my heart like claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hongo, struggling to hold back hot tears.
You're a terrible person! I hate you!
Oh my! How could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice. I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty. You see? I've even left you a way out.
A way out?
Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that, and you can stop the incinerator.
What's the point of stopping it? You'll only capture me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now.
My goodness, haven't you listened to anything I've said? I told you, I'm a fair man.
Huh?
If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape.
The verification function of the red?
Then I remembered. Before Hongo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets into the red.
Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, and the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number?
I looked down at my left hand. The face on my bracelet showed a 5. I ran to the door with a 9 on it. I grabbed the red and put my hand against the scanner panel.
You really aren't one for listening, are you?
I hear Hongo's muffled voice from across the room.
I've already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will activate. In other words, if you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number. What kind of fool are you?
Why are you doing this?
You could never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle.
I can't! I don't know how!
Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution.
I can't!
Then you'll die. You'll burn alive. It's gonna be quite hot in there in a few minutes. I imagine it will be very painful.
That's a good evil laugh. This horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I couldn't hear it.
Incineration will begin in 10 minutes.
I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the monitor.
I can't. I just can't. There's no way. I can't figure this out.
What was I going to do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could think was how I was going to die. My palms were sweating, and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot. So hot. I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest, as if it would pound itself to pieces. I reached into my pocket. I wrapped my head around the thing that I'd come back to get. The doll Jumpy had given me. At least I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed.
Help me! Jumpy! Help me! Help me! Help me! Jumpy! 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 Please! Help me! Jumpy!
Akane?
Akane?
Who the hell is Akane?
Shut up! Just shut the hell up!
Seven and Liz don't understand. I think Clever and Snake have an idea, though. Clever's looking at me, and I think Snake may have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here.
Akane! Akane! Can you hear me? Akane! Say something!
Fuck! Did something break our connection? I swear I just heard her. Shit!
Akane! Answer me! Akane!
Jumpy?
I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course. But I could hear it so clearly. Like he was right there.
Jumpy!
I screamed as loud as I could.
Akane!
Jumpy!
That's her. She's there. Then that means...
Akane! Akane!
Are you in an incinerator right now?
Yes, I am! How did you know?
I couldn't believe that he knew that. Now I understand what Senta meant.
Right. There's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
I think I get it now.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Chubby, we don't have time!
As quickly as I could, I told him that I had to solve the puzzle in order to stop the incinerator.
Got it!
And I do. I got everything now. At last, I finally understand what all of this means. I know why the Nunner game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It was all for this moment. All of this was planned out to lead to this one moment. Oh my god. This is insane. I can't believe it, but there's only one possible answer. June is. Zero is. Akane Kurashiki. She recreated the history of the future that she had a glimpse of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. No, she's trying to save herself right now. That means that there's only one thing for me to do. Even if this is all some sort of insane plan, I will save her. I will save Akane Kurashiki. I must save her no matter what.
Incineration will begin in 6 minutes.
The voice reminded me of how much time I had left.
Chubby!
Yeah, I know. Just hang on, alright? I promise I'll get you out of there. I'm not gonna let you die. I promise. So don't worry, alright? Just give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
My voice shook as I answered. It was hot in the room. It felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for him. Alright, time to get to work, Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get out of my way.
Hey, what are you...
Just trust me, okay?
Sorry, Lotus, I don't mean to snap, but there's a lot more at stake here than your pride. I apologize later, alright? Now let's have a look at this thing. We've got numbers all over the screen. I think the panels are out of order. So I just need to switch these out? Staring at it isn't going to accomplish anything. I'll just have to try it.
Just think of what I did all those times before. I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind. I'm gonna solve this problem.
So, fun fact, this was a straight up just a Sudoku, however long ago, in the original version for Game Boy. Oh, okay, so what we need to do... What we need to do is we need to get all of the digital roots of the slots around the thing to add up to 9. That's about it. So swap S for something that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. So we know that O is 24, which means that S is 28, so that's 30, so that's 3. So we need to swap S for a 5. No, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? The 4s turns into 8s. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do is I'm spotting a pattern here. Oh, that magically worked? Okay. password. Nope. There's a lot of slots, right? There was 8 slots. Maybe it's just a digital word, or just a root of password. Let's try that. So, O is 24, which makes 6. So B is 7. A is 1, because it's 10. S and S, so P, Q, R, S would be 1. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. And we're gonna add 9 to that. So S is 19 plus 9, which is 28, which is 10, which is 1, okay. S, T, U, B, W, E, U, V, W, so W should be 5, O is 6, O, P, Q, R is 9, and D is A, B, C, D, that's 4. Okay, it's actually easier, because the digital root is just a digital root of the letter number. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, E, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. We know that O is 0. Is it 0? Okay. No, it's 5. Oh. No, I'm okay. I'm losing my mind here. Okay. So, if we extend the numbers, the digital root of the numbers, I guess that's what I'm missing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. O would be 15. 15 plus 9 is 24. Yes. So the digital root of O should be 6. Which means the digital root of P should be 7. P, Q, R, S, 8, 9, 0. T, U, V, W. O is 6. P, Q, R. And D is just 4. Fuck. The 9 square, maybe that's the password? What? Oh, fuck me. Oh.
Yes, that's it. Akane, did you get it?
Oh. I am annoyed because I tried so hard to be like, oh, okay, maybe it's just a digital root problem. It's like, no. Literally, the password was the common number that all the blanks had. Oh, fuck it.
Yes!
I did! I solved it! I mean, really, you solved it for me, but I copied everything you did!
Sorry for all the times we got it wrong.
Now I just have to press enter!
Then what the hell are you waiting for? Push it!
Okay, I will!
I hit the enter key.
Emergency shutdown command has been confirmed. Incineration system has been disabled.
Jumpy! It worked! It worked! The incinerator shut down! It worked!
Tears rolled down my face as I cried out to him, but they were a different sort of tears. A wonderful feeling of accomplishment and relief flooded my body. At the same time, the string I'd left disappeared and I collapsed to the floor. For a while, I just lay there, laughing and crying and enjoying being alive. Every time I thought about him, I thought my heart would burst.
Whew.
I can't quite believe I did that. But I am so glad, so glad. I feel like my heart's on fire. No, I don't have time to be thinking about that kind of shit. I need to tell Akane.
Akane! Sorry, but things are kind of busy over here. I'm gonna have to hang up now, okay?
Oh, of course, that's fine!
I wiped the tears from my eyes and nodded vigorously, even though I knew he couldn't see me. Then I looked over at the corner of the floor. There were the 2 bracelets Hongo had left behind.
Now.
Well, Seven and Lotus don't look particularly happy with me. Not a very nice look to give someone who just saved your lives, guys.
Junpei, are you...
Okay.
Ah, shut it.
Right, okay, so maybe they have a reason to be pissed off. So what if I haven't pressed the enter key yet? Alright, nothing holding me back now. Here goes. Wait.
Incineration will begin in 90 seconds.
It doesn't sound like it's stopping.
What the shit? Why isn't it stopping?
Okay, maybe I didn't hit the key hard enough. Just hit it again, and again, and again. Okay, that's not working either. The alarm's still going off. What the hell is going on? I've got all the red numbers in the red boxes. It's perfect. So why the fuck isn't this thing stopping?
Incineration will begin in 60 seconds.
Wait, of course. That's what the numbers that showed up after the puzzle mean. Snake, Clover, Me, 7, and Lotus. Then, there were 9. No, that's it! That number on the door isn't a 9. It's not even a number.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that...
Holy shit! Of course! Then we just have to put the right number into the red, and...
Incineration will begin in 30 seconds.
Run, guys! Get to the door! Run!
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Don't have much time. Man, I sure hope they can just trust me on this one, or we are all fucked. Alright, no time to explain, just go.
Quick! Verify your numbers on the red! Verify? Who?
What combination?
All of us! We all need to verify!
Why?
You really think this is a good time to ask questions? Just do it!
Hurry, 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 hurry.
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Central gate has been opened. Incineration system has been disabled.
Oh, thank fucking Christ. No, no time to be happy, time to go.
Hurry! We've only got 9 seconds before the door closes. Go, go, go!
Come on, guys, move it. Okay, they're all through. Move it, Junpei. Just in time. And there goes the door. No, don't calm down yet. You're not done. We still gotta find a dead.
Shit. Looks like we made it, huh?
Man, that guy sure can laugh when he wants to. Looks like Clover and Lotus are totally out of energy. Snake is shaking his head warily. I just want to take a nap, bud.
Akane? Akane! Can you hear me? Akane!
I want to tell her we made it. I want to tell her how good I feel. But nothing. The door opened. Standing in front of it was my brother.
Akane!
Oi!
I cried his name even though my voice was almost gone from screaming and leapt into his arms.
Oh, oi!
Akane!
I buried my face in his chest and cried again. I cried and cried and cried. The steady thump of his heart in my ear made me feel like I was home. Its beat was almost like a lullaby. I wrapped my arms around him as far as they would go and held him as tight as I could. Just to be there felt like a miracle. I hadn't felt the warmth of another human body in what seemed like an eternity. I just wanted to stay there in his arms forever. But I couldn't. The moment I passed through the door, my wrists had begun to count down to death. I leapt away from him and looked around. The door had already closed. I spotted the dead only a short distance away. It took me only a moment to get to it and scan all the bracelets. I love the ones Hongo had dropped on the scanner panel. That was it. I took a deep breath and looked around again. The huge detective who recalled 7 and 9 years and Snake, the blind boy, were looking at me. They seemed to have been utterly stunned by my sudden appearance. Their eyes were wide and their mouths hung open.
Alright, let's get out of here. If we don't book it, we might run into Hongo again.
I was right, it's time we got moving. The mention of Hongo seemed to jerk 7 and Snake out of their surprise, and they nodded. We took off running up the spiraling stairs to freedom. Time for more running. But if they can't get us out of here, no wonder we're running so hard. My heart's beating so hard I can barely hear. God, I can't wait to breathe real air again. Huh? Is 7 talking?
Hey, Junpei, can I ask you something?
What's up?
That door, the one with the 9 on it. Why'd it open?
Yeah, all 5 of us verified our numbers on the red. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is 26. That makes our digital route 8. It shouldn't have opened.
That's not like you, Lotus. I thought you would have figured it out already.
Huh?
Because you were the person who taught me about the idea of bases.
Bases?
Yeah. What are the 2 numbers in base 2?
0 and 1.
How about base 10?
That goes from 0 to 9, right?
Then how about base 16?
0 through F. After 9, it starts at A and goes from there. B, C, D, etc.
You're right. In other words, A in base 16 is 10 in base 10. B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, and so on.
So, what about it?
You don't get it? What if we keep going with that pattern? What if you go way past base 16 all the way to base 27?
Base 27?
Yeah.
Well, the numerical digits are the same. So, I guess you'd add alphabetical digits. E is 14, F is 15,
H is 17, I is 18, J is 19,
K is 20, L is 21, M is 22.
N is 23, O is 24, P is 25.
Yeah, and? What comes after that?
Q.
26!
And what does that mean?
That wasn't a 9 on the door.
It was a Q! A fucking lowercase Q!
And that, kids, is why you don't use lowercase letters.
Yep, that's pretty much it. I guess to put it another way, you could say that it was a 9 in base 10, but a Q in base 27.
And for more running. Also, that does not, no, like, a number is a number, period. You can't be Q in base 27 and then be reduced to a 9 in base 9 because you're reduced to an 8 in base 9. Come on. God, my thighs are killing me. I swear any moment now I'm gonna tear a muscle. I feel like every single cell of my body is dying for air. Damn, every breath I take is a chore now. feel like my lungs are gonna burst. Maybe just a short rest. No, can't stop. Don't have the time. Come on, legs. There can't be many more of these steps left. Let's run. Run like a bullet down a rifle barrel. Like a tornado cutting through a sea of clouds. I feel like we're running along the back of a giant coal dragon. Finally! Jesus, I can barely breathe. No, Junpei, no time to rest. Pull yourself together, you're almost there.
All right, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're finally here!
Please do.
Sure, you look like a big, heavy door, but you're the only thing standing between me and my freedom. But even more important than that, you're the only thing standing between me and Akane. You're gonna open, and you're gonna open now! I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Aoi's. He gave it a small, reassuring squeeze. I was so happy I felt like I could melt. My heart was at peace. And not only because my brother and I were back together again. Thanks to the huge detective, all none of us got kidnapped. We're finally able to escape from the gigantic. On the distant horizon, we could see the faint outline of the ship as it sank. It gave a thunderous roar that finally slid beneath the waves. Its last cry echoed out across the ocean, and then it was gone.
It's over.
Aoi whispered.
Yeah.
It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Was it really? No, that was wrong. That wasn't it at all. I was sure of it. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. This was only a prologue. What would happen in 9 years? Yes, finally! Air! Gah! Damn, that sun is bright. I can barely see anything. Oh, I gotta admit, this doesn't look quite like... Wait,
No way.
you've gotta be shitting me.
What?
It can't be.
This is...
Looks like we're in Nevada, girls! Yup.
This is the building in the Nevada desert.
the mock experiment building.
Oh my god. This whole time we were in Building Q.
I mean, did you think they had found another sister ship of the gigantic? Sure enough, that's the desert out there with mountains all around it. Hello there, son. Boy, I'm ever glad to see you. I don't think I have ever been so happy to see a sunrise. Huh? Did I just hear something fall? Right, her bracelets. I guess I've never really got a good look at the underside of one of these. Let's see what's inside you. Just a little electronic chip, like an ATM card. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing that even looks like a detonator. There was never a detonator to begin with. Figures.
Akane.
Jumpy.
I'm a little confused. Two people clearly blew up. Hey, guess I must be pretty crazy about the girl if I think I'm hearing the voice in the wind. Alright, let's unpack what just happened while the titles scroll by. So, essentially, what happens is that it's a paradox, right? There's a split in reality where at some point, let me lower the volume of the... There's a split in reality where in one reality, Akane dies, and that's it. In the other one, Junpei from the future tells her the password, so she survives, and then sets the whole thing up so that Junpei can give her the password. As for Snake, what happened... Sorry, not Snake. Seven. why did he think that Akane had died? Is because he was also able to access the morphogenetic field and got his memories from the bed end version for Akane. Whereas all of the actual story took place down the B path where Akane survived. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think it's completely, what's the word? Foolproof. The fact that he says there's no detonators in the watches, I'm like, okay, well, 2 people did die from bombs in their intestines, so maybe some people had a bomb in there, but let me raise the volume again.
Are you okay?
Oh, come on. This is nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look okay.
It was just before the end of elementary school. Junkie and I were sitting next to each other on a small hill, looking down at the top as the sun slowly set.
How does it look then?
It was half serious and half joking. I thought about it for a minute first.
Well, let's see. It looks like you kissed a toad and got warts, but then they just kept growing and growing and growing.
What does that even mean?
Junkie grinned and...
Ow, 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 ow.
See? I told you you're not okay. You're too reckless. You can't beat 5 8th graders, Jumpy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I couldn't just stand there. I mean, don't you think so? I had to do something.
Look at the Nevada desert go past. For an SUV, this thing is a pretty smooth ride. Sure was nice of someone to leave it for us outside the building, keys in the ignition and gas in the tank. Almost like it was a present, you know? Anyway, we jumped in and now here we are, screaming across the desert. Lotus is over there in the passenger seat. Snake and Seven and I are all squeezed into the back seat here. Still can't believe we let her drive.
Woohoo! This is so fun! This is so awesome! Driving is so great when there's nothing around, and there's no speed limit.
Hey, Clover, watch those bumps, all right? This car jumps even a little, and I think I'm gonna get crushed to death.
Hey, shut it. I can't help if I'm big, all right? Suck it up.
Why don't you drive, Seven?
I'm a cop. I ain't gonna break the law.
He doesn't have an international license.
Yeah, but you could have sat in the passenger seat.
Oh, hell no. There's no way I'm giving this seat up. And Clover, there's no need to slow down. The car Santa and June are in should be somewhere down this road ahead of us.
Yeah, I saw some fresh tire tracks going out. There's no doubt about it.
Then we've got to hurry if we want to catch them, don't we?
Sure thing.
Oh shit! Or to say it in Joseph Joestar's voice. Oh shit! God damn it, she doesn't have to drive so fast. Man, I don't even think a car like this could go this fast. You're sure throwing up a lot of dust. It was a couple hours after we'd run into the junior high students. They'd been hiding in the bushes on the back of one of the hills, drenched with kitten and gasoline. The moment we saw what they were doing, Jumpy ran up to them, furious.
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Then he jumped on them. Quickly scooped up the kitten and tossed it to me. I caught it and ran for the police station as fast as I could.
Help me! Officer, please! You have to come with me!
The policeman and I headed back to the hill. All we found was Jumpy sprawled on the ground with face covered in big swelling lumps.
You couldn't run away after you threw the kitty to me?
He stuck his tongue through the hole in his mouth where the tooth had fallen out.
Yeah, I guess I could have.
Then why didn't you?
I didn't want to. I wanted to beat him up. Beat him up real good.
Because of what they were doing to the kitty.
Yeah, that too, but I think they were the ones behind those murders our first semester. Remember?
Oh, you mean the bunnies.
Yeah, the bunnies.
He plucked some grass from the ground and tossed it to the wind.
They asked me what elementary school I was from, so I told them. they said they'd do the same thing to you that they did to the rabbits. I couldn't forgive them for that, so I... Hey, there's still some stuff I don't get.
Of course, they probably don't know any more than I do.
Like Ace. Well, guess I should say Kentaro Hongo. Why did he create the Nonary Project? Anybody? Any ideas?
Why don't you ask him yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess it could.
He's still in the trunk, I assume?
Yeah, he is. Still tied up, I'm assuming, with his mouth taped shut. His eyes just look empty. No emotion. It looks like he's just given up. I wonder if he even cares what happens to him anymore.
Hey, were you listening to us?
Yeah, go ahead and try to pretend you were, you old bastard. Let's get the tape off your mouth.
Come on, I know you were. Answer me.
You could at least look at me when you talk, man.
I only wanted to see the faces. Human faces. I thought if I could gain the ability to access the morphic field set, then perhaps I could see faces.
Man, this is literally just a billionaire trying to heal himself.
By peering into people's minds, you could understand how they were processing the expressions of others.
This is really dumb.
That's it?
Yes, if you want to put it simply, but if you are looking for a more philosophical answer, I could supply that as well. You see, the human collective consciousness...
And tape goes back. I think that's enough out of you, pal. Time for the tape to go back on.
All right. So what's your second question? You said there were some things you didn't get, didn't you?
Well, somebody's a little nosy.
Well, my next question doesn't really have anything to do with you two. This is for you, Seven. It's about the whole Alice thing. What's the deal with that?
Well, you see, 9 years ago, after I escaped from the Gigantic, I kept going after Hongo on my own, hoping I'd catch him when he finally slipped up. During the course of my investigations, I learned a lot more about the Gigantic. I also found out about Bourdain and Alice.
You're not really answering my question. Was there actually a girl who wouldn't melt at room temperature?
Sounds like Hongo has something to say. Alright, fine, I'll let you talk, but you gotta behave.
What?
Alice doesn't exist. 9 years ago, I found Alice's coffin behind the library on the bottom deck. There was nothing in it but the root of a peculiar plant. My research determined that it was a member of the genus Mandragora, of the family Solanaceae. I was able to extract a particular alkaloid from it. I used that extract to create Soporin. Its creation was a tremendous boon to my firm, and we grew rapidly.
Shit, this is gonna go on forever. It's going back on, Hongo. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. For now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride.
Here, this is for you.
What's this?
This is, for you, doll. His name is Junpei.
Jumpy pulled something out of his pocket and shoved out his arm toward me. In his hand was a doll made of yarn small enough to fit in his palm.
Jumpy, are you sure it's, for you, doll?
Huh? Yeah, the lady at the shop said so that means it's for you, right?
Are you sure it's not a voodoo doll?
Wait, what? That's... Oh, man.
Well, it sure looks like a voodoo doll. I mean, you do know what a voodoo doll is used for, right?
Yeah, I guess calling it Junpei isn't a very good idea then.
Why are you giving me this anyway? It just seems really sudden.
You know how after June, we aren't gonna get to see each other too much? I mean, we're gonna be in different schools, and I just thought I'd,
Oh, okay, well, how about we call it June, then?
Okay. So, I wanted to give you this.
You sound like some sort of tribal chief in a bad movie.
Yes. I, head of tribe. This doll, traditional charm of tribe. So I give this. It me. So we always... together.
Oh, Jumpy.
If something bad, then hold and pray. I go wherever you are. So here,
Take.
I reached my hand out and picked up the doll gently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears streamed down my face and fell onto June's tiny yarn body.
Oh, Jumpy. I'll never forget you. I promise.
Jumpy looked straight into my eyes and said just 5 words.
I'll never forget you either.
The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down toward the horizon. The last golden rays of sunlight stretched out across the city and pinned themselves across the hills. We sat, bathed in the warm light of evening. Just the two of us, leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one the lights of the town began to flicker on. There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, and also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. 9 years ago, she died in the incinerator on the Gigantic. But she's still alive now as June. But how? Was it because I tapped into the morphic field set and saved her 9 years ago? Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane sense. If I did that, then how do I make sense of what Seven remembers? Snake makes sense, he's blind. They couldn't have seen her body anyway. But Seven, he said he was sure he saw it. Does it mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Or, wait, maybe that's not it at all. There's only one other logical explanation. Was what you told me the truth, Seven? You look satisfied. No way. Couldn't.
Hey, look! Over there. There's somebody next to the road.
Huh?
What?
Well, it looks a lot like Alice, huh? The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled with heat. Standing there on that shimmering plain was a woman, her arm out and her thumb up. It would not be long before Junpei realized who she was. End. Don't forget your towel. Weird achievement name. Alright, save. So, we still have a couple of endings to attain. And I think the easiest thing to do is probably to just go back . So, how much do we have to redo? Let's suppose I pick this.
Let's make sure we've got this straight.
Because it also depends on how much they're forcing me
we really
to
don't have a choice now.
replay. Okay, so now we're on the right path. We have activated the red key, whatever that is.
You guys ready?
We're gonna go down door 7. And then we're gonna go back here.
All right, let's go.
Okay. And we are locked out of the proper ending. So these are the endings that happen if you are not careful about saying certain things or getting some of the backstory. In this version of the ending, we have not talked to Clover.
I wonder.
What the hell?
Come on, we gotta hurry.
We haven't talked to Clover, so she doesn't trust us. Clover ran straight past us, someone confused Junpei. As she did, got a glimpse of her back.
Huh? Clover, what's that on your back?
Sticking up from her collar was something that looked like a big wooden stick.
A stick? Hey, Clover! What the hell's that thing on your back?
She didn't respond. Instead, she quickly turned a corner and disappeared.
Is she ignoring me? For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later and ran off after Clover. So because of what we've done, we did not give Clover the little bookmark, so she believes her brother actually died. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy! Clover!
Jun's face was excited. Something had happened that much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Given her situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. Jun, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
What?
Come on! Just follow us! We'll explain on the way!
Okay.
7 turned and jogged up down the stairs.
Well, if that's the case.
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said it was door 9, then it probably was.
We've reached the end.
He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3, 7, 2 pieces.
Let me maybe skip a little, because, you know, we've run through all of this already before.
Let's...
Yeah.
So we go down to C deck.
What about door 2?
Everyone else stopped. They all turned to look at Clover. Seven spoke.
What about door 2?
Door 2 is the only one we didn't... We haven't gone through it, I mean.
Yes, that is true.
Are you guys okay with that? Not investigating it, I mean?
So what? We found door 9. We don't need any of the other doors.
What's the point? Huh? What's the point in going to door 9? We can't all go through it, right? Then we should do what we have to do before we go any further. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. The best way to finish it quickly is to do the border pieces first. You know? Or what? You think all 7 of us should go to door 9? And then we argue over who stays behind and who gets to go? Do we really want to do that again? Who knows? If we check out door 2, maybe we'll find something. Maybe we can find a way to get all of us out. Huh. I don't know what might be in there. We may not find anything. But don't you think it'd be better to at least have a look? I mean, am I wrong? Does that sound wrong to you guys?
Yeah, you do have a point.
The others nodded in agreement.
The last time I checked the clock, it was 4:30. It's not like we've got a lot of time, but if we're quick about it, we might have time to take a look.
You're right. Let's go take a look at door 2.
They were back in front of the elevator. Nearby was the large hospital.
The elevator can take us down to door 2.
Who shall go then?
Let's see.
Me.
Then June, 7, and I need to go with her.
4, 3, 6, 7 is 20, which is 2.
Hey, why do you get to...
I don't mind. We'd only waste time arguing over it.
Jumpy, I'm okay too.
See?
Can we just go now? All right, let's get going.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Be careful.
They climbed into the elevator and Junpei limped into it, creak and rattled its way to the bottom deck. Only Junpei, Ace, and Lotus were left. As the elevator rumbled out of sight, Ace spoke.
Lotus, would you be so kind as to go with me?
Go with you? Well, I didn't think people still talked that way outside of the 1950s. Well, I'm a mother. Would that be a problem for you?
That wasn't what I meant to... I was hoping you would come with me.
Seriously, though. I was kidding. So, where was it you wanted to take me?
There's something I wanted to show you.
Hey man, what the hell? I'm not important enough?
Well, it's not like that. Once I've shown Lotus, I'll show you.
Really?
Of course.
Ace's smile was friendly.
Fine. Do whatever you want.
Thanks, Junpei. Are you coming, Lotus?
Fine. Doesn't look like they're going to be back anytime soon. I might as well go and see whatever it is you think is so important.
Thank you. Well then, shall we go?
Ace turned and began to walk. Lotus followed. They disappeared into the hallway on the left. Time seemed to drag as Junpei waited for the others to return.
They're so slow. And what's keeping Ace and Lotus?
Suddenly the elevator opened. A single person stood there.
Clover! I guess you're the first one back.
It was only Clover inside. He didn't see the rest. She looked at Junpei, then slowly purposely stepped out of the elevator. The door closed behind her.
Where's everybody else? What happened?
She didn't answer. Instead, her eyes swept the room and then settled on Junpei.
Where are Ace and Lotus?
Oh, Ace said he wanted to show Lotus something, so they went into that hallway.
June explained what had happened.
Oh, then they went over there?
Her voice was small and timid.
Yeah, I think so.
He repeated his earlier question.
So where are June, Santa, and Seven? Why aren't they with you?
You really want to know?
There was something wrong with her smile.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Here, let me show you.
Clover pulled something out of her pocket and tossed it into the floor at Junpei's feet.
Huh?
He looked down. On the floor in front of him were 3 metal rings.
Bracelets. Oh my god. Oh, holy shit.
Junpei collapsed.
No. No way. No way. This has got to be some kind of joke. This can't be real.
Junpei's body felt like rubber. His heart felt like a cold lump in his chest, and his hands shook uncontrollably. Sweat poured down his face. The 3 bracelets sat there on the floor before him. He could see the numbers on their faces.
3, 7,
and
6.
Yeah, we know how to remove the bracelets.
But why?
Junpei's voice was flat and broken. Clover's response was cold.
Revenge for my brother. He was forced into door 3 and murdered. You need at least 3 people to open a door. Who were the 2 that opened that door with him? It could only have been Santa and Seven. That's why I killed them.
But why? Why did you kill June?
Because she tried to protect them. She was in my way. She had to die too.
No.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to wake himself from what had to be a dream.
No.
It couldn't be real. It just couldn't.
Hey, Junpei.
He felt Clover's hand on his shoulder. Oh, I know that smile. That's a Yandere smile. Her smile was wrong, horribly wrong. Her face looked like a mask made from stretched human skin. The smile that parted her lips did not extend to her eyes. They were dead and empty. The girl in front of him was no longer the Clover he had known. Perhaps she was not even human.
Let's go.
Her hand reached out toward him.
Let's get out of here. Let's leave this ship.
What the hell are you talking about? To open a numbered door,
Yes, I know. You need at least 3 people. But as long as we have this...
Once again, Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That's...
It was another bracelet. Junpei could see the number on the face. 0.
The 0 bracelet. You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is... See? You get it now? If we have the 0 bracelet, we can leave. You and I can open door 9 with just the 2 of us. See? So let's go. Come on! Hurry up!
She shoved out her hand again. Junpei looked up at Clover. She had the face of a demon, but there was something else. There was a holy light that surrounded her. She was both a fierce god and a benevolent goddess filled with love.
Junpei?
Her voice was soft. Her eyes weren't empty anymore. They were deep, So deep, Junpei could feel himself falling into them. He felt dizzy. There was something odd bewitching about her. His mind was beginning to crack and his heart began to melt.
Junpei.
And the air she was offering him, it looked so soft, so inviting.
Clover.
Junpei reached out with his own trembling hand and closed it over hers.
Yeah?
Oh! Junpei writhed in agony. He shouted and twitched, his body spasming as he went into shock. He screamed until his throat was torn and bloody, then screamed more. His cries echoed across the room. Eventually his movement slowed and faded. There was no more strength left in Junpei. He could feel his body begin to go numb. He no longer felt pain. He no longer felt anything. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. The last remnants of his mind began to fade. Even as his vision faded to nothingness, he saw Clover.
Thanks, Junpei. I'm just gonna borrow this, okay?
Her smile was cold. What was left of Junpei's conscious mind drifted away. All there was left was a twisted, broken corpse. So this is the yandere ending. Where Clover thinks her brother died, so she just goes crazy. I'm not sure what happened to Ace and Lotus. Alright, and now we're through there, so let's just go. Ooh. Why is it? This is being weird.
This is
There should be a door at the end of the hall.
Yeah, look here. So this is the setting where I think we fail to stop Ace after the murder.
She's not here.
No.
We're looking for Clover. Slowly they made their way back to the hallway. At last they reached the stairs and Junpei spoke.
All right, I'm thinking we should probably split up. I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck.
All right, that sounds good. But,
What?
could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone?
Huh? Sure, right. I'll do that.
There was a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even when they were alone. Though perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he'd used when they were children. Connie. Oh yeah. 9 years ago it came natural. After all, they were children. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Regardless of what they might hope for, to call a woman who was dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Miss Kurashiki would feel even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't pull his finger on why it felt so much forward to call her Akane when they hadn't seen one another for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June and leave it at that.
Jumpy.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
All right, I'm going then.
Yeah, be careful.
June, or perhaps more appropriately, Candy, blushed and smiled.
You be careful too, Jumpy.
Yeah, got it. Take care.
Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs, then turned around and took off for the hallway. Tragedy always strikes her when least expects it. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow when he lies on the ground. A light in a dark place, June smiled, giving him hope, both for escape and possibly for something else. It was that hope that raised his spirits just enough that they might soon be fully dashed. He opened the elevator door, and there she was. The woman sat slashed against the wall. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp, and her skin smooth and pale as always. It was covered in bright red blood. Junpei felt his chest constrict. He couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled behind his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank, all his thoughts replaced with endless, hissing white. Driven by a little more than instinct, he began to walk towards Lotus slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and pushed his hand against her neck. There was no pulse. No rise and fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. Something somewhere in Junpei's shaken mind told him that meant she had been killed recently. Yes, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. There was a deep cut on the left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, although clearly her heart had stopped beating some time ago. The weapon had been a knife then. Perhaps she had been stabbed in the heart once. She would have died immediately. He took little comfort from knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice. Lotus's bracelet was gone. So this is what Ace wanted to do with Lotus, was just to stick her in a corner, stab her, and get her bracelet, and use that to exit. So they might have number 8 bracelet. If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. Or perhaps more accurately, the person who would gain the most by obtaining bracelet number 8. Who is that? Who would benefit the most from the number 8 bracelet? The thought had only just entered Junpei's mind when Ace stabbed me as well. It sounded like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain. There was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made a connection. He had been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed from the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. His voice was little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But as he did, the knife dug itself in deeper, twisting viciously. It collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out of him, but not move. Nothing save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of the killer reflecting in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. Felt no emotions. Not anger, no sadness, not regret. The paralysis that had claimed his body had reached his mind. His scared glanced down at his body. Then, without a word, climbed into the elevator as was gone. His eyesight began to fade. The world grew blurry and began to dissolve in an empty white fog. The fog crept into the edges of his mind and worked inexorably inward. Soon it swallowed up the last that remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There was nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell. Into zero. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. Alright. And as for the submarine ending, when you think about it, there's really only one option, right? Because for the submarine ending,
my choice?
if we choose to go down, there were 2.
That's not good.
Just to double check. I guess they do all go down door 1.
I'm sorry, but...
So my two theories were it's either Musashido, the captain, that nobody goes to bother and comes out and just kills everyone. But given that Ace does go down door 1 and kills Musashido most likely within this timeline, then whoever's responsible for the essentially what is happening is that I think what happens is that Snake wakes up and gets out of the coffin in some ways, realizes that Clover is dead, and just goes insane. That is the only option that to me makes sense, because everybody else is dead, we see everybody else's corpse. Clover was probably in a fight with Ace and Santa. And so the only person that's left really can only possibly be Snake. But it's sort of left to the reader's imagination. Yeah, let me just now go to title screen so we stop having that ominous music in the back. Yeah, so that was 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I think it's a good game. The plot doesn't quite coalesce as neatly as I would like. It's not as neat as the sequel, and it's not as neat as another one of the, I think, 2 great visual novels, which are Fort to Shibuya Scramble and Steins Gate. I think the story behind Steins Gate is amazing and very well thought, and maybe one day we'll play through that, and by play I mean we'll just watch it together. But yeah, so thank you for watching. This was the full playthrough of 999. We'll get back probably in about a month or so to the sequel to 999, which is the reason why I played 999 in the first place, which is I really want to play through Virtue's Last Reward. So that's gonna be coming soon on the channel. I will see. I will probably not stream again for the night, but I will be back tomorrow with a couple of different streams. I do want to still make up the stream that I missed of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and I might want to start playing some Sherlock now that we finish this game. But in any case, all my streams are on twitch.tv/gameswithnick. I stream regularly on Sunday mornings and Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursday afternoons, Eastern Time. I also have bonus streams every once in a while, so if you're interested in any of that, hit the follow button, click the bell, so that you get notified when I go live. All the VODs are posted on youtube.com/gameswithnick. Feel free to check that out if you missed some of the earlier parts, if you want to see some of the early playthroughs that I played earlier on the channel. Yeah, so the next scheduled stream will be Crash 3 on Sunday morning, and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door on Monday afternoon, but again, some bonus streams tomorrow, so feel free to check those out. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and until next time.